may have heard of your IQ, but what is EQ? EQ is your emotional quotient. It's just like your intelligence quotient, right? EQ measures your emotional intelligence. It is the capacity to be aware of, to control, and to express one's emotions, and to handle interpersonal relationships empathetically. And that's important. There are 4 domains of emotional intelligence, and each of them have levels that can aid in you being able to face any crisis head on with less stress, with less emotion, with less reactions that you don't agree with, and less unintentional consequences. Emotional intelligence really helps you to stay in control of your personal and your professional brand. A personal competency really determines how we manage ourselves, and those can consist of self awareness, and there's one called self management. Self awareness is knowing your intentional state, knowing your internal self, right? Knowing your preferences, your resources, and your intuitions. It's when you're able to read your own emotions and recognize the impact that you have on yourself as well as others. When you are self aware, you are able to do an accurate self assessment and have self confidence. When you have self awareness, you are in charge of not only your emotions, but how you deal with others and their emotions. And trust me, I have been frustrated sometimes, and we think that we're being unemotional. We think that we're being rational, but we're actually being emotional. So that self check really helps. So don't let your feelings be in charge. Do a self check. Let's talk about self management. Self management is the second personal competency for having self control and being able to be authentic, to be transparent. Self management is all about being optimistic and having the ability to adapt. Now, as you go through turbulence, think about managing your emotions. Ask yourself, what accounts for these reactions I had? We think, so we feel, right? We feel, so we act. And I am sure you have all heard the saying, and I think it's fitting for this topic at this moment. You can't control the unexpected, but you can control your response to it. You know, I read somewhere in life that 10% is what happens to you, but that 90% is how you handle it. Steve Covey said, between stimulus and response, there's a space. And in that space lies our freedom and our power to choose our response. And it is within those choices that our growth comes, that our happiness comes, right? Now, there are 2 social competencies that determine how we handle relationships, and these consist of social awareness and relationship management. Social awareness, being aware of others' feelings, their needs, and their concerns. So this means being empathetic. Empathize with others. Be willing to serve others. It's critical as a leader to understand others' perspective and being open to diversity. Social awareness, it means that you understand the culture in which you work, right? It's when you know the spoken as well as the unspoken rules. Social skills and relationship management. Now, this one is the ability to create responses in others. Being an inspirational leader. Being aware of the shadows that you cast, right? Being a strong link in the chain of success and in how you manage relationships. Knowing how to manage conflicts builds bonds with others. Having high levels of teamwork and collaboration does as well. You'll hear more about collaboration later on in the collaboration model. But for right now, think about this. How much do you encourage others and draw them into an active commitment so that they can collaborate and have a collective effort with you? What about developing others? Do you clearly communicate expectations? Do you provide support to your team? Do you have honest and timely feedback? I practice addressing the issues immediately, and it really does help diffuse situations. This way, I can ensure that it doesn't continue without me having a discussion and providing my perspective on it.